Hi friends, thank you for taking time out of your day to enjoy a few moments together as we learn more about card making and encouraging others. As you probably notice, this is a recording. I was not able to do my normal Thursday morning Facebook Live because the power went out. And just at the very moment that I was turning on the camera and getting ready to get started, everything just went black. So anyhow, so it took some time for it to get back on. I don't know what the problem was, but hey, it is what it is. And I'm here this afternoon. It's still Thursday, a little later in the day, but that's okay because we're going to get this done, okay? I do want to share with you some things that I have been working on. Last week we had internet problems. I have no idea what's going on, so maybe I'll just have to resort to recording again for a while until I can get all this situated and figure out what's going on, so and get through it. As you can see, we have a new annual catalog that's coming out in May. Okay, there are many things in the catalog that are being carried over from our older catalog. However, I can't open this up yet. But in the meantime, we still have our mini catalog that's available from January to June. And there are so many things in here that we could work with that are going to continue over into the new catalog. So, trying to decide whether you want to make a purchase out of this, not knowing that it's in there, there are a lot, okay, that are going to be in the new catalog. So, in purchasing anything out of this one, with the idea of it being in the new catalog. So, but that being said, not everything. So, well, last week, because I had problems getting the video done, I do want to go back and look at that stamp set that I was working with. It was a very fun set, and this Hey Chick has 7 stamps with it, along with dies that have a variety of additional things besides the actual stamps that are on the page. So let's get started here, okay? Let's think about the colors that we want to use. A good color palette usually consists of at least 3 colors. A good color for this stamp set would, actually, you could use any color. We have a barn, okay? And we're going to cut that out. We're going to cut out our barn. I would like to also cut out some chicken wire and a cornstalk, along with corn, right? Obviously. And we have 3 pieces of corn here. No, 4 actually. 4 pieces of corn and 4 corn husks. And we need to determine which chickens we're going to use. Okay? This is a really cute one. They're all very cute. But this wild-headed one is absolutely the funniest one I have ever seen, and always gets laughs. So it's just a fun-looking chicken. Looks like he's already been plucked to me, but who knows? So we're going to work with that. And the colors, let's choose. This is our card base, cut at 8.5 by 5.5 and scored in the center on the long side at 4 1/4. We burnish this with a bone folder to make it a nice crisp edge and easy folding. What we're going to do is go ahead and cut out our die pieces. These are like the barn, the corn stalk, the fencing, the chickens, and all that, those things. And we're going to use our the Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. This is a wonderful unit. We now have the smaller one, the mini, that will cut the 3.5 inch wide dies and so forth. And there are even embossing folders that are that width, just for using the smaller cutting. Kind of speed it up now as we go through the cutting of all these individual pieces. Once you've seen one die cut, you can basically do the same thing. You just don't want to overlap. If you put multiples of dies on your cutting plate, make sure that there is enough room in between the two, that they don't overlap in the cutting, otherwise you will damage your dies. So okay, I will slow it down here for a minute or two, just to explain to you what I'm going to be doing here. I'm going to be cutting out the chickens, okay, that I'm going to actually make a frame for them, so that whenever I use the stamp in putting the ink on it, I can put them back into the frame and use my Stamparatus, and it will speed things up as far as getting them stamped correctly and everything all in one shot. It really saves time. You can keep this, I forget what it's called, the frame inside your case, okay, your stamp case. And anytime you want to, this is really good for florals in particular, and leaves, and well, actually anything. But here I'm using it for the chickens, and I can take them out, keep the frame in the case, and then when I can cut my chicks, whatever I want, out of whatever paper, and then whenever it comes time to put the ink and the design to the stamp, then I just slide it back into the little frame, and I'll show you how to adjust the Stamparatus to make sure you get the correct image. It's really simple, and it just makes things go so much smoother, and especially if you want to make multiple cards, this is a great way of doing that. So I'm going to put my frame down on the board, hold it down with the magnets, and as long as you're holding it down with the magnets, you really have nothing to worry about. But just keep a mental check as to where you lay your frame. If it should move, then you would know to put it back on, because once you set your stamps to strike the cutout, then you'll want it to do that, each time you do that. So just make a mental note of where you are placing your paper frames, so that you can keep it there. Otherwise you will be adjusting your stamp on the glass door of your Stamparatus. So I'm going to be using the Memento ink, which is the ink that is used when you're using the Stampin' Blends. These are the alcohol markers, and the Memento doesn't bleed or run or anything like that when you add the again, I'm cleaning off with my Stampin' Chamois, which is a sponge-filled tool that's just all it uses is water, and they collect the ink, but it doesn't come off on you. You just have to rinse it out ever so often. It does, once you start using it, it never comes back clean the way it was initially. The ink does stain it, but it doesn't come off. Okay, now we're going to select the background for the actual scene itself. We're going to be using the 6x6 cards DSP set called Playing with Patterns. And we're going to use, for the lower part of the card, we're going to use a portion that looks kind of like barnyard. It will be the done in Bumblebee, and for the upper part, which we'll be pulling a piece that looks like the night sky, and we will be cutting it in dimensions of, it's 5 by, the bottom part will be like 5 by 2 1/4, something like that, and then the other part will be the remaining piece of paper down the back seam here, and that's to guarantee that it doesn't move on me in any way or come separate. This is one of the best adhesives that we have on the market. And what I'm doing here is I'm actually laying out the scene before I stick any of the other pieces to the paper. I want to make sure that everything is pleasing to the eye and you know, just portrays what the idea that I want to get across with this card. And as you'll see, I move everything everywhere before I actually come to a solid place of where I want to put things onto the paper. So we're just checking things out, stepping back, looking at it, making sure that this is exactly what I want, and I'm measuring the fence, making sure that it doesn't go over the edge. Now I'm putting this on the black piece that goes between the base card and the. Okay, now we want to color our chickens. We're using the Stampin' Blends, and I'm just using a Daffodil Delight. Actually, it's a Bumblebee for the feet and the beak of the chicken. Then I'm going to use a real red for the comb, and then I'm going to outline the white chicken with a black Stampin' marker. Okay, that's not the ink. It's just a regular water base like our stamp pads. Okay, so now we're starting to put this together. We're going to put a dimensional behind the head of the red-headed chicken, and to bring her head up closer to the front, closer, and project it out a little bit more. And then we're putting our seeds on the ground and the fencing up and the details of all this, and trimming off the fence, making sure it fits within the frame of the card, along with the other things that we're putting on here. So we're almost done. Again, if you have enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. And while you're there, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. This will help me with the YouTube ranking and allow me to eventually do the live videos, which is something I genuinely love to do. So if I can be of encouragement or assistance to you in any way, please send me an email at diana@stampyourlove.com. Have a blessed day. Thank you.